Brought down by number 1, Jordan Ochoa.
It doesn't mean there's pressure, but I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about what I have to do this play and the next. You can't be like everybody else. I'm trained for all the situations.
I think he's the best pure pass rusher in the state, and maybe in the West region. He plays the freak position, where it's the best athletes in the world, in my opinion, are pass rushers, and that's what he is.
At the beginning, it was really just to play college football. But once I started getting, looks from my summer camp film, going into my junior year, D1 was definitely the goal.
He has a lot of talent, and I don't want to see it go to waste. And so if I can help him overcome some of those pitfalls prior to, then I do. I just try to be there for him when he has questions, try to, answer him the best of my knowledge and push him to be the best version of himself that he could be.
I'm Jordan Ochoa, played defensive end at Castview High School. Where I'm going to go to college, that's the big question. I'm trying to find my place in this world. I'm trying to find my place in college football. Well, this is the all Colorado team. It's the best 40 players in the state. Man, I'm honored, honestly. It's a lot of hard work and dedication, and to achieve what you want, a lot of sacrifices have to be made. I have to keep working if I want to achieve bigger goals.
He's a different player from last year to this year, by far. Last year he was feeling his way through, a new kid at a new school and a new defense, and he's trying to find his way in our world here. And this year he's just settled in, and it's allowed him to play a little faster, a little better.
He's got a bright future. He came from a smaller school in Nebraska after his sophomore year, so he's only been with us for 2 years. But he's really got a high ceiling. I think you're just trying to kind of scratching the surface of where he can go.
He's hungry. He's got skin in the game, and he's got goals and aspirations to play beyond Castview High School, and that's a good thing. He's put a lot of pressure on himself. He's being accountable for what he is.
Man, my schedule on the recruiting trail is brutal. For example, when I visited Tennessee, once my day ended at school, I go to the team room, start getting prepared mentally. After that, I hop on a bus to the stadium, get warmed up, and then we play that game. Right after the game, I hopped into the car and drove to the airport. Hopped on a flight at 11 p.m., got to Tennessee at 3 a.m., drove to our hotel, only to find the hotel gave away our rooms. We drove 3 hours to a Roach Motel with only 2 hours of sleep. Then I hopped on a bus to Neyland Stadium a few hours later. I had to make a good first impression with the coaches. We shook hands, we talked for a little bit, and then we headed up to our seats. The next night, we hopped on a flight at 9 to head back to Denver. Monday, it's back to the grind. At the beginning, it was really just to play college football. I definitely imagine it. I just didn't think it would come at a high rate my last couple years of high school. And so I focused on my team, making it to the playoffs and stuff like that.
1, 2, 3, boom!
So can you just name for me all the schools that you've at least seen some interest or have gotten a letter or something in the mail from?
Michigan State, Michigan, UCF, Ohio State, Iowa State, Iowa, Kansas State, Kansas, Nebraska, Oregon State, Washington State, Oklahoma, UCF, Boston College, USC, Tennessee. My first letter, it was in the middle of my junior year. I thought it was pretty exciting, honestly.
So one of your highlights went viral, and NFL legend Warren Sapp actually retweeted one of your plays. Can you tell me what that felt like, and what was that like for you?
Quarterback killer. That's amazing. He's the best to ever do it, and to have him on my side is definitely amazing.
You know, if he succeeds and he does the things that I think that he's capable of doing, man, this is the stuff that, you know, dreams are made of.
Jordan! Let's go, man.
Jordan, as a little kid, he was silly, you know, rambunctious, always having a good time. One day I took the boys to, you know, Florida State and just showed them what's possible. And that place seemed so huge, you know what I mean, for both of my boys to be there. Football when he was a little kid, it was just fun, you know, and there came a time when I was like, hey man, you could be pretty good at this. If you want to do this, it'll be your choice, but I can just be your dad, or I can help you get to where you want to get. There's gonna be times when you hate me. There's gonna be times when you want to give up, and there's gonna be times when, you know, you think everything's stacked up against you, but it's all out of love. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to help you achieve your goals because you told me that that's what you wanted to do. I'm hard on him because of how I was as a young man. I didn't have me. You know, he doesn't have that kind of adversity that I had, but, you know, he has better. Like, he's got the answers to the test. Like, I honestly, play by play, can order his steps in order for what he's doing. Like, when I see a little bit of doubt creep in, or when I see a little bit of I'm not good enough, or if I see a little bit of I'm just going to give up, I push him harder because in the end, it's going to be worth it, man. I knew that my son had the potential to do something bigger than I ever did. And so I just looked at my wife and I said, hey, we got to move our boys, you know, someplace where they can flourish. All this hard work is going to be for nothing.
When I was starting high school, he definitely was trying to, you know, keep my head straight in the books, and I didn't start off too hot. I just wasn't even paying attention, turning my work late, didn't even study for tests. He just always told me like I'm wasting my potential if I'm not trying to do everything to my fullest.
And he had a rough start his freshman year, and we just started to fix that. That is something that wasn't going to be acceptable in our house. And when we set the expectations, you know, he hits those bars. Everything that I've ever asked him to do, he's done. You know, first time asked, there's no complaining. He's a worker. And as far as how's it going to set him up as a student athlete, you know, Jordan has learned that if he just shows up and does the work, that everything else will take care of itself.
He always wanted me to have good grades and, you know, always wanted me to push myself to whatever it was. He didn't care what it was. He wanted me to be the best at it. He's always gave me advice when, you know, the recruiting process was definitely tough. He pushed me to like what schools, the ones we should be visiting. I feel like visiting the bigger schools definitely got the attention of other schools.
After last year, you know, he really made a commitment that he wanted to be a college football player. He did everything that everybody's recommended to him that he needed to do. You know, he shows up, he goes to 6-0 strength in the morning, does all that with Coach McChesney.
So I know one big key to your success is being able to train with Coach Matt McChesney. I believe that's his name. Can you tell me a little bit about him?
He's an intense person. That's one thing I could tell you. He's intense. He doesn't let up.
Matt McChesney. I am the owner and operator of 6-0 Football Academy and 6-0 Equipment. I played at the University of Colorado from 2000 to 2004, 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of the football, playing offensive line and defensive line. I was a defensive lineman all through college. I got moved my second year in the NFL. I always say I've got my master's degree in football.
When Doyle moves over, they rotate to cover one strong safety force robber. You're not fooling anybody. When you walk 45 out here and stack them with a safety in the back and then walk them back in, they know who they're going to.
That wall says every battle is won before it's ever fought, and the only way you can sign it is if you go play in the league or you go play in college. So again, I don't give a shit what you did yesterday. You want to go play at that level and they validated by offering you, I expect you to show up and act like a damn professional and a grown man. 5A Gage Ginther at Fossil Ridge and 5A Jordan Ochoa pass rusher, they may not see each other all year and they don't play unless they play in the playoffs. But in here, they literally go against each other, 10 times a week. If Jordan loses a rep, well, that's a win for Gage. But then, are you learning or losing? It all comes back to the same thing.
I mean, my first day, 6-0, going against Gage, I got thrown to my face. I feel like Gage was the first person to, set the tone for me. He can move his feet better than anybody. It's like a tall basketball player.
Well, Gage Ginther is a number 78, 6'6", 290-pound offensive lineman. I call him the driver of the road grader.
I have to prepare mentally and physically to get through a 6'6", 290-pound lineman. I got to use my hands and feet to make a move. I got to mix it up every play. Because he's a big boy. Big boys don't like to move. And then I had to use my advantages. And I didn't let it happen again.
Nice job. Time. Jesus Christ, Ginther. Get him. Time. Good job, Jordan. He's not a loser, he's a learner. So he got over that real quick. Where most guys would walk out. Jordan's the kind of kid that gets in the car and goes, he was on my ass, but I can't wait to get back in there at 5 o'clock in the morning.
What's going through my mind in the playoff game is just my task, really. This is my first playoff run, so it's kind of different. It's kind of new to me. I just want to fast forward in the week, you feel me? I just want to play the game already.
We don't start slow.
Everybody was nervous. The difference was everybody was hyping, the crowd was a lot louder. I feel like we took the extra time to prepare. We watched more film than ever. We took notes. We knew the play before they even ran it. We knew the possibilities of the route combinations and everything. What I want to take advantage of is the weakest link of the offensive line. Obviously, Gage wasn't the weakest link, and with him not playing, I had to attack that weakness in their offensive line.
It's his mentality that sets him apart. It's the ability to get grinded on and go 50 reps and still go to practice and still perform.
My dad was telling me stuff I need to correct and what I need to fix. And he's always telling me what he sees and what I'm not seeing. He definitely said that I need to make him move, make him move his feet. I noticed that he kept oversetting me and just washing me up the field. During the play, I kind of sell an outside move. I just kind of give him what's called a hump, which is an uppercut. I had to secure the tackle at first, but then I punched the ball out of his hands. My coaches and my teammates, they're all hyped. They couldn't, stop talking about it.
Well, obviously, he's big and strong and fast and all that bullshit, but everybody that plays college football is, especially if it's playing his position. He's got more ability than a lot of kids that are on the same perceived level. The thing that sets Jordan apart, though, is mentally he's gone from a boy to a man. And that's how I know wherever he does end up going, whoever gets the benefit of having Ochoa as a 5 technique to rush the passer, whatever school is smart enough to make that happen. You're getting a grown man. The worst thing I can do to a coach is insult his intelligence by telling him that Jordan's the best pass rusher I've ever seen. He's not. He's a great player who has a ton of potential, who, if he does things right, could play on Sundays if he's developed right and he goes to college and works his balls off and does everything that he can do to get there. If you just work, anything's attainable. This perception out here that like it's like a star far away. When you talk to people and you say, I want to play at Tennessee, I want to play for Prime in Boulder, I want to go to Nebraska. And in football, if you have a grunt mentality, nothing will ever break you, and you'll always be there, you'll always be consistent. And one day they'll go, okay, it's your turn.